Welcome to Monday Night Live Chat with me, SteveO in Jersey, and we are here for another Monday night. We came back for 2 in a row because I'm going to be gone next week, so we won't have a show next week, but we'll have a show the week after, so that's why we're doing 2 in a row. So, anyways, Jersey, what do you think about this stuff with Joe Rogan? Oh, I think he might be muted.
Can you not hear me?
Now I can hear you. Now I can't.
How about now?
I can.
Super weird because now I'm muted.
Weird. Can you guys hear Jersey? Can you guys hear me? Hey, there's always going to be problems no matter what. This is going to happen. Muted from Levi. Hold on, Jersey. I'm going to check on YouTube to see how it sounds. It happened. Muted from Levi. Hold on, Jersey. I'm going to check on YouTube. I don't know. I couldn't hear you. Now you're muted again. I don't know.
How about now?
Now I can hear you.
That's so crazy because I just checked muted and now my thing says, are you speaking? No one can hear you.
Can you hear me though, fine?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool. All right. I think we're good to go.
Okay, well, cool.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I just wanted to go back real quick. You said you're going to be gone next week.
Yes.
And you're going to be in New York.
Yeah.
With Chris and Alex, but yet you don't want to do a Chris, Alex, SteveO, and Jersey show.
We could. It's all up to them. It's all up to them. If they want to do it, we can do it.
That's crazy.
We can do. Yeah. Ronnie, can you hear Jersey? Ronnie Bill?
Either way.
It should be good.
I love technology.
Yeah, it's always a problem. My webcam always messes up. I have to go to Zoom, turn it on so that it works on here. Okay, cool. We're good to go, man.
Okay.
We're good.
Whatever works.
It is. Yep. All right. Anyways, we're going to start off some of these shows with like a random topic just for fun while everyone rolls in. And we decided tonight to talk about Joe Rogan. Yep. That's politics.
We're going there.
We're going there.
First off, I just have to say that if you were Spotify and you bought Joe Rogan, which what they did, and then like some of these other people who are like, oh, you can't sell my music, who haven't really been like big chart toppers, doesn't Spotify just be like, oh, well, cool. We spent like $100 million to have Joe Rogan.
Well, it's like, what was it? Metallica back in the days of Napster. Wasn't it Napster?
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Lars. Remember Lars, the drummer or whatever?
Yeah. Metallica was crazy about that stuff. So I don't know. You know, it's that whole thing of free speech, and like free speech anymore is just not a thing. You can't say what you want to say, and it stinks that's a part of it. And but that's what people do to like try to make a change is cancel their music. But I don't think it's going to work.
The woke. I thought it was so funny. Did you see James Blunt or whatever it was?
No.
You know who James Blunt is, right? Isn't that his name, James Blunt or something?
Who is it again?
I'm beautiful. That guy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he said if Joe Rogan's not removed from Spotify, he'll put his music on Spotify. That was like a joke. I thought it was pretty funny.
I think though, like, you know, there is certain things though that I would say off of watching Joe Rogan, like that I have seen in some of my cousins' lives, in that one thing that Joe does talk about a lot that I think is kind of like it's not horrible, but it's not, is his talk about like different drugs all the time. And he talks about the good sides of them, which I think there's a lot of young kids that watch him. And I do think that could be a negative, which I do think it's good now that he is on Spotify. You have to subscribe to listen to the whole episodes. Like you can still watch little clips here and there, but I do think there are parts of it where I'm kind of like, Joe, like you probably should watch what you say, because a lot of young kids look up to you, like a lot of college kids, a lot of those. Yeah. Like he wasn't around when I was in college as far as being influential like he is. Like he's one of the biggest influencers apart from Elon Musk. You know,
I thought you were pointing to you.
No,
other than SteveO.
What did he say? The other day, Elon Musk said that if if McDonald's will now start allowing Bitcoin for purchasing like a burger, he'll eat a McDonald's live. And it's like, if you did that, it would be all good to go.
It's so weird.
That's the power.
I love the fact that, like, I know power, absolute power corrupts absolutely or whatever, but like, how interesting is it that like you could have pull, you know, in something or anything? You know, these guys are like, they can say something and just like the world changes for it. It's pretty.
Yeah.
I do disagree with the free speech thing, because back in like our day, like when we were kids, we just basically could be like, you know, say anything and then we're like, oh, you're an idiot, I'm not going to listen to you. But now you say something, people are like, oh, don't watch SteveO anymore, he said a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, all right.
Oh, people were trying to like say stuff. Like I did have somebody just recently like try to do something on a post. I'm not going to go into it, but it was definitely in those like lines of like, why are you trying to do this? Why are you trying to make me look bad? And yet we've hardly ever talked.
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, what is it? And then once we started talking, everything was good. Like once my attention was there, everything was good. It was super strange. I don't go into it, but it happens.
That's the big thing, is people will just want to be noticed. So they think that they, by saying some big I mean, I've had people who literally like in DMs have like tried to like want to fight me. You've seen me. I'm not like 2 foot tall. I just have my camera up very high. So when I meet people, yeah, like when I meet people that like are like, you know, talk crap to me and I meet them in real life and they're like, oh, remember that time? That was so funny. Remember that thing I said? All right, man.
It's true though. The first time I met you, I was like, man, Jersey, you should have been a football player or something. Man, how tall are you?
I'm like only 6'2", I think.
Oh,
6'2".
We went over this. You're taller than 6'2" because I'm 6'2" and you're taller than I am.
That's what short people say, though. I'm just saying. I know you're 5'11" and a half, but no.
yeah. But yeah, that's the world we live in.
Real quick though, if everybody that's commenting, give the video a thumbs up and comment your hearts out, because this helps the algorithm. We're trying to beat records every time we do this. Me and Steve will like look at numbers and we're like 460 comments last time.
Yes, we're always trying to beat records. Hey, let's talk about a new product, because for some reason today I was thinking about this, and it's a very popular product, is the new Mormon flick with the fugu. The reason why I want to talk about this is because, and I want to see what people say about this in the comments, is that I think it's a really great product and I think it's going to be good for residential cleaning. But I think the one problem, I don't know, have you used that tool ever much? I know since you probably haven't done a whole lot with it because of being out of the field.
Yeah, I've used the tool, but it angers me when I try to use it, because I always tell people like, I just didn't use it enough to be good at it. So yeah. So the one thing about all those combination tools is that if you get your solution too sudsy when you're doing pull work, you can have a lot of bleeding and a lot of bad results.
Yeah. And that is one thing that I think about that flick pad that will create issues over time. Me and Luke used to talk about it with the newer channel. It leaves soap in between. I know probably not a lot of people are interested in this, but it was just something that I thought about when I saw the product. I was like, it's aggressive, yes, but I think that's good for like a sleeve mop. I just don't know if it's really needed for stuff that you use for like storefront cleaning and stuff like that.
Yeah. By the way, what's up to Name Brand is in here. Levi S. Darth Elm is back. The Window Guys himself, he's here. Ronnie, what's going on? Just want to say hi to a bunch of people. Craig's also here. But yeah, so I had a dude, it was my operations officer, who would put literally like a half a cup of like Dawn in his bucket. Like he would put so much soap and it would like foam over the top and he'd be scooping foam out and he loved it that way. So maybe there's just people who like love extra suds and foam. And I mean, it looks cool if you're trying to draw something in the window, but it sucks for bleed back.
I love a soapy solution, but there is too much soap, especially when it's cold though. That's when it sucks, is like a day like today. It was pretty cold and like doing pull work, a lot of bleeding. But that was just a thought I had. So be careful if you get one because they're popular.
Yeah. What's cold for you? Like when you say it's cold, what was the temperature?
This morning was 32. Like that's not bad.
Yeah.
Like I would say single digits. That's like 2-3 degrees. I've had many mornings, I'm sure you have as well, where it's like 2 to 3 degrees and you're just waiting for that first like hour to get by.
Yeah.
And after that first hour, it's always fine. But like those mornings where, you know, you're using windshield washing fluid and that's freezing, and that's no fun. That sucks. I don't like that.
If you're watching, tell us what your temperature was when you woke up this morning. But yeah, when I would do windows, if our windshield washer fluid froze, we were like done for the day, because I knew it was going to get warmer. But I mean, in Wisconsin, the sun's not really hot in the winter. It's like there, but
Right.
Colorado's weird because you could literally get a foot of snow one day and the next day be like 65.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You guys have some really big swings.
Yeah, we'll have mornings where we wake up, snow on the ground by 2 o'clock. Yep, 60 degrees, snow's all melted. Like that's a typical March or April day. So like March or April is our most snowiest months. So like, but we had no snow from freaking October through almost the end of December, which is crazy. But we got another snowstorm coming tomorrow. I got a house in the snow tomorrow, so that's gonna stink. Try to cancel it today. The guy pretty much called me a wussy and said you better be there. Guy was straight rude. I was like, because I will say this, and that I'm bad about, and I was really bad about when I worked at Fish, is that if it's like, hey, I think rain's coming in about an hour, you want to hold off for today? I will be that type. I'm really bad about that. Like, I don't know what my problem was. And then every time I did that at Fish, the next day I'd come in, they'd always hand me those jobs again. Like, just make sure you get those done today and be totally out of my area. It's like, I should have just got it done that day. But I like working on days where it is like snowing or weather. I just think it's just creates more of a fun day.
Yeah. I am a wuss now. Like in North Carolina, since I moved, I'm just, it's appalling. My dad was in town from Wisconsin. He's been here for the past 2 weeks. And it is the first time we've ever gotten 3 snows, like 3 weekends of snow in the history of North Carolina. That's what they just said on the news. And it was because he was here. I mean, we get like dustings, but it's terrible. It's supposed to be like 67 like tomorrow or Thursday or something. So it'll get back up. I saw somebody from North Carolina, by the way. Have you looked at all the temperatures coming? Like 40s are super common, but then there's like Ryan Fuster, Mr. Thumbs Up. He's like anything below 72. Che is like 70 in Texas, 74.
Man. Those are the good days. 60s and 70s are the best temperatures. Like that's like the best time to clean. 60, 70 degrees. Yeah. That's the best. You can have your hoodie off, just be cleaning. Fall and early spring can be a really nice time to clean.
Would you ever move from Colorado?
Oh yeah. Yes. Yes.
Usually people are like, well, you're like, oh yeah, for sure.
I really want to move to Florida really bad. I know.
God's waiting room. Why would you want to go there?
I like Florida. I've wanted to move there for a while. I tell Alex about it every day. She doesn't want to move there. We're both born and raised here in Colorado, but it's just one of those things where I'm kind of sick of the winter. And I just, like I was telling you before we started, this is the first January where I just had like a little bit too much time on my hands. And I was thinking to myself, it would be really nice to have a lot more things to do, because usually I'd be working like at least 5 days a week on the glass. And last year I still did that during this time. So it's just, I'm sick of the winter, man. I'm just sick of like I just don't like it anymore.
That's what made me decide to finally move. It was June something, and I remember taking my jacket off, my coat, like my Carhartt, and I was taking it off, and I was like, oh man, finally it's gonna be nice. And then in my brain I'm like, but I'm like 3 months away from snow again. Like our kids didn't go trick-or-treating because there was sleet a lot of times. So I'm like what am I doing? Like I can't be a snowbird. I got kids. Like if I can't be a snowbird, I have to move everybody. So that's what I ended up doing.
Another thing too is like in Colorado, skiing, snowboarding. Do you have skiing, snowboarding, North Carolina at all?
Yeah, but it's like you wouldn't call it skiing and snowboarding. We have mountains, but we don't have mountains. You know, like
the thing about that though is that that's what makes the winter fun. And here, if you want to go skiing or snowboard, you are going to pay like at least $150 per day, at least. Dang. And to me, like not being like in good shape, skiing isn't fun. Like if you're not in good condition, you go 2 runs and your legs are shaking by the 3rd run, you know? So anymore, that's not very like exciting to do. I love going up to the mountains. That's a really nice thing about living in Colorado is you're always just a couple hours away from like being in the big mountains. You can go like Breckenridge, 2 hours away, beautiful town. Estes Park, 45 minutes away.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the thing about Colorado that makes it lovely.
I'm 2 hours from the mountains, but like different mountains. Like we have the Blue Ridge, which is just like rolling, mountains.
Right.
Yeah. But I'm, you know me, I'm literally up there every weekend for that particular reason. I swear something's in there. Something is in the air that you like can absolutely recharge. It's the weirdest thing, but
yeah,
you can
now, you leave like Friday when you're done with work. Are you just out of here, gone?
Yeah. Ask customers that even know too. Like they'll send me something at like 8 on a Friday and be like, "Dude, when you get back from the mountains, like put the order in." Yeah, they know. Yeah, I'm back. I'm back at like by like noon, between noon and 2 on Sunday. I'm always back, and then I go put all my weekend stuff in and orders and things. But
yeah. Well, it's good though to get away. That's one of the things. It's good to have like something different and be able to escape from what you do.
Turn it off.
How many of you that are watching like have an escape? Like, is there something you guys all do for like the weekends or something like that, or even during the week to just escape? Like I like to bowl. I'm not bowling right now because of my arm, but I'll be back like in 2 weeks to bowling.
That's why you got too much time on your hands because you're not bowling right now.
Yes, that's it. That was good job, Drews. That's it.
It's time to go back.
Arm feels good though.
Man,
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
By the way, name brand, Mr. Austin himself said, "Come to Texas and you can shoot hogs from a helicopter." That's like one of my dreams to do is hunt from a helicopter. I don't know if you've ever seen them. Hogs are really bad. I know if you're not like a hunter, a lot of people are like, "Oh, little pig," but they're like really super invasive, and it's impossible to ever like get them back under control.
I just think of Pumbaa, Timon and Pumbaa.
Not that kind. Those are boars, but yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's just
so there's boars, and then there's like feral pig. Like a feral pig looks kind of like a boar, but is like a pig from a ranch that just got off. Like if a pig gets out in the wilderness, it will turn like feral in like 9 months.
Are these the ones with like the big teeth that like come out?
They actually grow them after a while, yeah. But those are the Russian boars, are the really, really big ones.
I've cleaned homes where they have like 2 of those walking around inside the home and outside the home, and that's creepy. I was scared, like very terrified. Yeah, that happens out here. I cleaned a home that had raccoons, like little baby raccoons. They had like 10 dogs, baby raccoons, cats, everything. Super nice though. The raccoon would like come up to you and like have its hands up and like look in your bucket, like look at the water.
That's because they were little, right?
Yeah. They're little. Yeah, little raccoons.
I had a buddy who had one, and like they say, like once it hits sexual maturity or whatever, they turn into little a-holes. And I'm like, no, not little, whatever his name was, that thing turned into like a completely, it would just like walk up to you and bite you for nothing. You'd be like, what do you kick the thing? Like, what are you doing? Why are you biting me?
Now, where was this at?
That was in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, okay.
Yeah. Like he found it and it was like, it's because when they're little and cute, they like bottle fed them and stuff, and we go over and play with them. And I knew him for like a good 6 months before I just decided like, nah, I'm gonna be a real raccoon now.
Well, it's like that thing of like a bunch of people will get those Savannah cats. You ever heard about this?
No.
People get Savannah cats that are, like there'll be 2 parts or 3 parts or a certain percentage of wild cat, like cheetah or something like that. Yeah, an old buddy of mine has one down in Louisiana. But they're straight up like you feed them raw chicken, you feed them raw beef. Like it's different.
Like as close to a wild cat as you can have, kind of.
Yeah, it's like a 45-pound cat. I mean, and it's scary.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I've seen that like with dogs. We had somebody in Racine, where I'm from, had I forget what they're called, but it's like a mix of like a wolf and a dog, and they're like legally have to be a certain amount, and you're like, oh, whatever. But that thing, it would go walk. They'd walk and it would start howling at like sirens or whatever else, and we'd be cleaning windows, and your like hair would stand up like instinctually, like your whole body like melts when you hear it. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
You guys got wolves by you? I mean, not in the town, obviously, but like out your way.
There's a huge thing in Colorado right now where I think there's not a lot of wolves, but they're wanting to release wolves, which is super strange. But there's a lot of farmers who are getting very impacted by that with their, crop, whatever happens there. So I don't know. I've never seen one personally. Never seen one.
The wolves that they reintroduced in Wisconsin up in the woods, like murked all the deer.
Really?
They just we had great hunting, and they just went through and bear dogs too. People would go hunting with bear dogs, dogs that would smell the bears, and the wolves would just eat the dogs. They would just kill them and then run off. That's how they train. Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, we got really dark here. I don't know how this all happened.
Yeah, so. We kind of went off.
Who's got a winter question for SteveO? Let's go back.
Let's look through here. Okay, so I do not know how to pronounce your first name, but I'm probably going to go out of order here. And this is a great question. How to remove paint and concrete from aluminum window frames. This is a question that I get asked all the time. And I'm like one of these people with any sort of construction cleaning. I do not do frames. I wipe them, but I will not remove paint or concrete or any of that stuff. I just won't. I don't like the idea of messing with that. So Jim and I always had the rule, and I've kept it of hey, it's glass only, and that's what we're going to keep with.
Yeah. So what'd you tell people? You just be like, hey, I'm not cleaning. We just don't do frames.
Yeah. Seriously, man, we wipe them down, but it was so much time. It was so much time that every single time I see a question like that, I'm like, what would you use to get paint and everything off aluminum?
I've used, depending on different situations. I know that I've scratched frames too, but I'm well, at this point, you want it off, it's gonna do. And they're like, I don't really care, I just want the paint off. But yeah, it's people just think that you can do anything. It's like pressure washing. They think you can make stuff look brand new, and it just doesn't work that way.
Yep. I talked to a guy the other week who had a job where it was 4 washing bays, completely hard water for 25 years, 15 years or 25 years. And then went into it thinking that one restore would just get it right off. And it wouldn't even budge it.
One coat, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, this is going to be a hard job. It's going to be a really rough job. Bid it high. But those kind of jobs, I just don't know. But concrete is easy to remove. It's the paint thing for me that is, that I just don't like. Great answer.
Yeah. Damien said steel wool, bronze wool, small blade. That's what I do, and then end up hazing window frames. So
yeah, see that's whenever I've used, I couldn't use steel wool on a lot of things. Bronze wool, yes, you can use on quite a bit of frames, but so you would steel wool. I don't know. White pad can do a pretty good job, but then if you caught concrete in it, that could scratch a frame. There's just a lot of things that can happen with it. So sorry.
Amos said, when would you be able to buy bronze wool pads again? Any info on that?
This is
the debacle, bronze wool debacle.
Bronze wool is not going to be available for a very, very, very long time. I couldn't even tell you when.
It's been a year. I mean, since we've had pads, really.
Yep.
And I swear I saw a notification we were getting bronze wool sent to us as reps just to try out some new batch stuff. But as far as I know, I didn't get any unless somebody snagged it.
I got some in a light roll.
Is it good or garbage?
Do I have it here? Let me see if I have it here.
Well, as SteveO goes and explores. What's up, by the way, Eddie S. Mr. Eddie Stewart is here. Good question, Amos. That was good. Here's the situation. So Bronze Wool decided that the company that was making the pads decided they're not going to make them anymore. Bronze Wool has really got hit hard with all this supply chain stuff that they just were deuces, we're not making them anymore, and then they just stopped. So we've been trying to find somebody who makes it, and every time we get stuff, they're like, oh yeah, it's ultra fine. And we try it and it scratches the crap out of everything. We end up shipping pallets of it back and just turning it away. It's nuts.
Yeah. We've had how many tests? 4 or 5. And it always feels like the same. It just feels pokey and hard, where that fine bronze wool that on the pads was super nice and just soft. And I'll tell you what though, I would say that I've micro scratched from bronze wool. I've definitely micro scratched things. Some of the newer style casement windows and stuff. I love it. I love it as a one-step tool, but I am always careful with it just to make sure that it won't scratch. So it's kind of
kind of makes me leery though is that, and I'm not that guy. You guys know that I'm not that guy, but there's other companies that are window cleaning suppliers that sell bronze wool.
Yeah.
That I'm a little leery on, because that would be like saying we can't get 4/0 steel wool, so we're selling 3/0 because most of the time it doesn't scratch. Like that's still not, I don't know.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. And every single person that I know that have bought bronze wool from other suppliers during this time has gotten the stuff, and they like just put their hands on it and it just pokes them right in the hands. And I always say, don't use that. Like if it's poking you in the hands, you probably don't want to use it on glass.
Yeah.
Poles and Blades. You should watch this sometimes. Poles and Blades is some of his new videos. He has these like, the things that you like wash dishes with that are like
Brillo kind of
Brillo, like a Brillo steel pad. He has those on the back of his fingers, and he uses those on glass. Every time I watch it, I say to myself, there must be something different in the UK, because that has to scratch glass. Right?
That's
doesn't that just hurt thinking about it?
You know what's so funny though is you watch stuff like that and people are like, yeah, whatever. I do that all the time. And there's other people who are like, I don't pull a razor out on any glass because there's always a possibility. It's like, man, opposite ends of the spectrum for everything.
Oh, he just goes like on anything. He's just working it in, and you're just like,
got it done.
If it works for you, that's fine.
Hey,
that's fine.
Lux is here, by the way. Some of the best pictures on the internet. He said 4.0 white pads work great. So white pad only comes in white. So pads are the color of the pad. If anybody doesn't know, for like Brillo or Scotch brand, any of the pads, the color is the grade. So white is less than black, is less than green, is black, then less than red, right?
I think, and red's the worst as far as red will scratch windows.
Yeah, red is the worst. Anything that's not white will possibly scratch. Or walnut. Walnut does not scratch either because it's a white pad with walnut shell.
Hey, Craig asked, what do you think of the new Unger Nin light? Have you seen the new Unger Nin light anywhere?
Yes. I've held it in my hand and played with it, yes.
When did you do this?
I did it at night, and it was no. It is an odd shape for me to be making pee-pee jokes right now, but it is really, really good. In typical Unger fashion, it's like Unger, right? Like their stuff is so sexy and so good and so just like when you hold it, it's like, have you ever seen like a real sports car up front, like in close, and just seeing it, you're like, oh, there's something about it that triggers you. That's the Nin light. But I haven't used it on glass yet. I've played with it and played with the strike. It's a weird shape. It's pretty cool. It's not quite oval, but it's like almost like an egg shape, sort of. It's pretty interesting. The wrap is so sexy, though.
Wow. You really, you love it. But so aren't we getting some of these soon?
Yes, we just got them today.
Oh, my God. Look at that.
Great timing.
Wow. Yeah.
You should subscribe to windowcleaner.com. We tell you when stuff comes in.
If only I knew what was going on. So yes, Greg, they're going to be here because so many people have been asking for those for so long.
You want to know? I saw it the first time I laid my hands when they were like, "Hey, come here, we got something to show you." Was at IWCA last year, and IWCA is next week. So it's been a year since I've seen them and touched them, and they just never came out.
Wow. Yeah. So how much are they going to be?
I don't remember all of them. I'm not going to quote prices. They may even be on the site, but maybe they're just not loaded up yet. But they're not cheap. So if anybody knows Harley, Unger is Harley. They make really, really good stuff. But as soon as you strap like a label that says Unger, you pay a lot for it.
You know what? No, I'm not going to talk about that story. That's going to be a bad story.
Look at that. Self-censoring. That was great.
Yep. It is not on the website yet. So if you're going there and you're thinking, I'm going to find this, you're not going to find it. But there's some really good videos of it on YouTube that Unger did out of Germany. Basically, the thing is that I don't think a lot of people understand this, is that America just gets delayed with what usually comes out in Europe. And that's usually what you think, because you've been in this a lot longer than I have. You think a year, 2 years usually that they...
At least. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's stuff that they have that we'll never even get or see. Like they had an RODI system that had literal computer screen on it. Like we'll never see that. It's just they won't put it to this market because our systems here, you know, people are like, ooh, $2,000, you know, but there's other places that they use WaterFed all the time and just know it and understand. They're like, yeah, $6,800 for an RODI, let's do it. Like,
yep. Well, I think even in the video, they're like when they're using those new ones because Tradman's in it, and I don't know who the other guy is in the video. It's a really good video, and they're using one of their new RODI systems. But yeah, it's like a freaking R2D2. Yeah. You know, it's putting out pure water, and it's like that has to cost a lot of money.
Yeah, there's a big issue that I have, and it's not with Unger because I love Unger. If Unger's watching, what's up? I love Unger. But the problem that I have and stuff is a little bit too over-engineered. Is just there's more to break, you know? Like there's always been, especially like 8-10 years ago, all the systems that came out all had like there were systems with built-in inline TDS meters and pressure gauges and dials and zip zoodads and everything. And it's like, well, as soon as one breaks, it's like $280 for a new inline TDS meter. I can get a TDS meter for $24 shipped to my door from WCR. Like it's really hard once you start adding all the bells and whistles to not like think like what happens when your TV screen goes out on your RODI? You can't use it and you got to buy a new screen. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Well, we kind of see it like what's the like one of the main systems that we have that has its own replacement part, like just main link is the Unger hydropower because little things break on that. So you need like the inline TDS meter. You need little things here and there for it. So it does happen.
Yeah. To the window guys, American Window Cleaner magazine. He's talking about the centerfold. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever seen that? You're like the poster in a lot of the magazines. Did you ever notice that?
Really?
The center of the magazine pops out so you can have a poster.
So weird. Oh, really? Oh, so people put this on their walls. I'm like on people's ceilings when they go to bed. Like,
I'm just saying, there's, you know, Tiger Beat and there's American Window Cleaner. They're all, if that doesn't creep you out now, if anybody's in the group and you have a picture of SteveO on your wall, please say something so that you can creep them out. I would love to see
I really hope you don't. Jersey, there's a question for you.
That's right.
From Kenneth Turner. Hey, Jersey. How do you go about collecting money from your clients? Do you let your employee get the money or do you go around getting money from your clients?
Yes, all of the above. So like if it's a residential, so any and every residential client that I ever did work for, I would always say in the very beginning, and I didn't clean for a long time, so these are all my guys, but they would be like, so when we're all done, these are what we get back, and then you can go ahead and write a check or give a credit card number for payment of service. So we always told them before the service, and we always collected. They always were fine collecting checks, credit cards, cash. Like if you don't trust your employees to touch cash, like in a business transaction, you need new employees. Like I understand that you're feeling a little bit leery, but I told people too, like an instant fire for me was messing with my money, because if you have anything where you think, oh man, I misplaced $5 and you ended up buying a pack of smokes with it or something, like then there's no limits. You'll screw me anyway, which possible. But I always trusted them. So until I get screwed, I'll trust them.
Did you ever fire someone for doing this? Like finding out that someone had asked them, hey, can you come do a bid for our house? And they were an employee and they were like, oh yeah, I'll do it like on the side. I'll be happy to do that for you. Did you ever have that happen?
I had people would always tell me about it. They'd be like, hey, just so you know, Jane Smith her neighbor asked me to do a bid and I want to go through you. And what I would do is be like, cool. Like I've had it happen with one guy who wanted to do, one other guy, they just want to run it through me. Like whatever, just tip me for getting you the lead. Cause I'd always pay for like referrals. So like if they're the ones and somebody says, I need a bid, I would give them bonuses for that. Cause we want the work. Like it kind of helps that way. But I had one guy who would bring it up to me and he only did it twice. And he'd be like, hey, so-and-so asked, is it something I could do? Or I'm like, yeah, man, but they always asked first. So I did have to fire somebody for being too smelly though.
Oh, I've heard of this before from others actually, that this does happen. Yeah. Some window cleaners.
I fired him multiple times because he's like the guy actually bought my business. It was like his relative or something, but there was like issues and like I like told him like, dude, I just warned and finally I'm like, dude, we can't do that anymore. Like we have to air our trucks out on Monday morning because you were in there on Friday. Like it was awful.
Now, the smell, what, to be that pungent, like how?
How does it get you right on the tongue there? How am I tasting the air?
Are we talking like a BO smell, a poo smell, smoke smell? What are we saying?
It was
All
like
of the above?
all of them for a couple weeks. Like I'm pretty sure
Oh,
there was like
man.
no showering involved.
Wow. I do know, though, that I've heard from others, like Jim had a guy where he just always had to have him outside, especially in the summer, because his BO is so bad that if he was inside, like in a room, you would smell it for like hours after he left. There's just, there's some people who like natural deodorant and just like,
I don't care if you like natural deodorant. Everybody around you does not like your choice of natural deodorant. It's time to like get some speed stick.
yeah,
I
exactly.
do think a funny thing would be is if people put the worst firing story that they ever had in the comments, because these are good. Every time I do like an episode on like firing people or like horror stories, the stuff you hear is like absurd, like absurdly bad. I'm like, I don't feel so bad. There's like, did you hear the one?
I see this though. Did you allow this to talk about smelling? Is smoking? Did you allow your employees to smoke?
Man, so I struggled with it, but Wisconsin, every person who's above 18, every person above 16 in Wisconsin pretty much smokes. So it was really hard, but man, it was really bad at certain points. I'm like, guys, you just like do not smoke on the way to somebody's job. Like you just you smell, like you think you don't, but you do,
Yeah.
So I did allow it, but I don't know. I never had complaints about it, but
we didn't allow it at 2020, and I wouldn't still allow it till this day.
Yeah.
Like I just think the smell, and more of, I guess it would have to be a black and white rule for the whole company. It's more for residential, I would say, that it really matters. But I've even seen like negative reviews on other companies that someone once showed me of where someone complained about a company's employees coming in smelling like smoke who clean like the inside of a business, and they gave them a 1-star review. And it was someone who didn't even hire them. It was just someone who basically, So they can definitely happen. But I am one that I used to smoke, for a couple of years when I cleaned windows, but then just got away from it and haven't done it since. But that's always been something for me that I just never quite understood.
Yeah. That's my tallest building that I ever got was I was just doing some random calls, and I called up a cleaning company, and the lady's like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. We were literally just talking about how we hated our window cleaners. I stopped the conversation to answer this call. This is like fate. We were kind of joking. And she said that it was so bad that they would smoke so much on the job site. They would go in and the offices would smell so bad that all of the people were complaining. So they lost the job because they smelled so bad. I was like, well, cool. Because we don't, like at the time that we had stopped all smoking in the trucks, I was like, wow, you won't have that problem with us.
Wow. You know what I was going to say last week, and I totally forgot to tell this story, and I think I'm going to tell it because it's such a good story, is when we were talking about scratching windows. Yeah. I don't know if anybody, and say if you heard about this story in the comments, because this was huge. This happened like 2 years ago where a guy in Boulder got, it was actually like a national, he got on like Yahoo, on like the Today Show and everything, about a guy who scratched like $50,000 of windows in Boulder, and he was fighting it and took it to court.
Wow.
Because all he used was his sleeve. And he actually one time stopped me in an alleyway in Longmont and came up to me and asked me if I would testify in his court case to like, if like, these sleeves can't scratch windows, will you come and testify for me? And he was on all of our local like news, everything. And the guy's whole business got shut down because of it. But he literally, I don't think he ever scratched a guy's windows, but he, just from using a sleeve, the guy said he scratched them all, and it, by all the legal fees, no one won, but the window cleaner lost like everything.
Yeah.
Dude was a creep.
There's so
much. Weird. He was super weird. I'd have to say that. If you did know him, if Damien, I want to know, because he was super weird. He's a super weird Russian guy, and I had met him like if it is a Woody Allen relative, it means so much that see, I knew someone would know. But he's super odd.
And you just told us that he stopped you in an alley. So
yeah.
SteveO just in an alley. Like, I don't know what are you cleaning in there?
Damien, what company are you with?
Well, there you go. There he's
Friend.
He's got to be close to you.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, he stopped me, and then so what I did to him, I was like, yeah, man, I was like, I can't really do much for you, so I gave him Jim's number. He called Jim.
Should say, do you know who I am? I can't be in the public spotlight like that. Daniel Marshall, how should I start cleaning windows with temps in the mid 30s to low 40s?
Oh man, it's easy. Just a little bit.
Nothing even freezes at those temps.
Yeah, you're totally good. Yeah, no, that's totally fine. And gosh, yeah, 30s to 40s, you're fine. You might see a little extra bleeding, but there's nothing wrong there at all.
Yeah, if you need to take a little windshield washer fluid, add it in there if you're seeing any type of like shady side freeze ups or anything like that. But just a little washer fluid will help.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got it. So Damien, did you know this guy though? I'm sorry, I'm so beelining for this, but this is hilarious because yes, yep, he was on the news and everything. You got to check. I'm going to send you this.
Yeah,
after this episode, I'm going to put it in the comments so people can check it out. But it was just a crazy. It was weird that it got as much publicity as it did, and I wanted to share it last week because I knew other people knew about this. Because I remember when it happened, Luke voxed me like right away. He's like, "Dude, you know this guy?" And I was like, "No, I didn't know him." But then I told him the story about the alleyway of how weird it was.
Yeah,
and just like the guy was searching for other window cleaners just to be like, come and tell them that this wasn't me. And
I feel so bad though. I mean, weird or not, like that situation is like, I mean, super sad to me. Yeah. I've known a couple companies who have just literally been like, dude, I scratched a bunch of windows. What do I do? Like try to like litigate here, blah, blah, blah. And then you never hear from them again. You're like everything you created is just gone.
Yeah. And that is like the really, I think that's what we were talking about with scratching is like how quickly that can turn into a shit show, like really, really fast, which stinks.
Yeah.
We'll try to get Luke on the show someday here. We will get him. He's going to be on Squeegee Life this week, right?
I heard he's chosen TJ over you. He's like,
oh,
I'm going on TJ's show.
Never. He loves us both. Loves us both the same.
He loves us both.
You got to go back. If you ever watched, like, there was the first video that Luke and I ever did together was a collaboration, and all of my clips are so bad, and all of his clips are so good. I look back at a couple years ago, I was like, man, like he probably just knew while he was making this, like, oh, I'm looking good here. Like,
he was like, this guy. You just do your thing, buddy. You'll be somebody. Don't you worry.
It was like camera angles with like my whole chest and head cut off, and then his is all these good angles, like multi-camera angles, and
fisheye everything.
Yeah.
He
changed it. He did change it all, which was good for all of us.
I do enjoy his music, though. I have to say, I did enjoy that.
Yeah. One of his main songs is like the Nation intro song, or I think, or
actually, it's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's funny on YouTube though, because a lot of people use the same music. Like Epidemic Sound is a huge one now for on copyright. You have to pay a monthly fee, but that's a good one. What were you gonna say? Yeah,
no, that's what I was just gonna say. Is that there's so many, and we did actually had some royalty-free music on some videos with that were on the AWC podcast stuff. But all of a sudden, like 8 of them got like pinged, and I'm like, what the? And it was just that guy. Something in that song, somebody pinged, and all of a sudden, it was like all of them were copyrights, and it was like, it's hard to get music. It's really that was more surprising to me is like getting the music that you guys have to do. I don't have to do that.
Yes, and like I would say the thing about it is when I started actually monetizing my channel to like actually like make a little bit like. Monetizing a YouTube channel doesn't mean a whole lot. Like it's less than pennies.
Wait a second. I'm pretty sure I heard rumors SteveO's making $132,000 a month on YouTube.
I wish.
That's why everybody wants to start a channel.
No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's just not. I wonder how much these top guys make. I mean, it's stupid money. It's really stupid money.
But it's like I was in radio forever, right? Like I was, and syndicated guys like do really, really well, and unsyndicated guys do really, really poor. So it's like there's like
what does that mean?
syndications like Mancow, like Howard Stern, like the guys who are on like 130 stations. They like take that show and put it out there. Those guys make really good money. But like if you listen to your local, Colorado station, it's got like crazy Tim and Kathy in the morning. It's like those people are making like nothing. And it's like you either make a lot or a little. And that's kind of how YouTube is. You either make nothing or you're like doing big things,
Yeah. I remember when I made my first $100 after like, what was it, like 4 years of being on it? It's pretty bad.
That's pretty good. That's nice. I've been on YouTube for 4 years and not made a penny. I don't monetize anything. I can't.
I don't know if it makes people mad though. Like with these, I wasn't going to monetize these guys, but then I decided to monetize it after I do it after about like 3 to 4 days. So you can enjoy it for like 3 to 4 days being unmonetized. And after that, I do monetize it. I don't ask for a lot from this channel.
Does anybody really care if something's monetized though? Isn't that just a little ad that pops up and then like,
oh, with YouTube anymore, it's like a full on commercial. I mean, it's like watching TV and and I think like with one of these, you could get like 20 ads in an hour-long video.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's kind of one of those things where...
Click the ads. Is that what you're telling people?
No, you don't need to click the ads at all. If anything, I would say skip them. But, it's just hard to have these channels anymore. And if you can monetize, you monetize. Because I just think it's how you got to do it with this stuff. If you're going to do it, like, do it. Because, I mean, like... you could pay for a new camera in a year, or you could upgrade some of your equipment by just what the videos make you or something like that. Like that. That's how I think about it. It doesn't have, not a lot, but it can definitely help a little bit.
Something weird. I was just going to say something weird that a lot of times you see always there's new people that are on YouTube for being window cleaning YouTubes. But the thing is like creating content as much as like I'm in it and involved, like it is really time consuming to not like, to just let people know who you are. Like I did today, I've done 2 TikToks. I've done 20-something minute live, and now I'm doing another hour live. Like that's a lot of content to just be like, hey, my name's Jersey. Nice to meet you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so there's a lot of times that people they think that there's this weird, they think there's something there that's not just hard work.
Yeah, like when I don't know if it happens to you too, is like when you meet anybody at these conventions or stuff, they're like, I want to start a YouTube channel for this stuff. And my first question is why? Like, why do you want to do that? Like, what's the drive to do that? Like,
no, that's a real question.
Yeah, like
the real why?
Yeah, and usually it's not too good of an answer. Usually I don't really get a good answer out of it. And like, I think it's one of those things. If you just want to do it, just like do it for fun and do what you like to do. And but. It definitely, I would say last year I was starting to like do a whole series on like new business, and I freaking hated it. I hated all the videos I did with it. I just did not enjoy it because it wasn't content that I really wanted to make, but I felt like in that it was something that people were asking for. So I started doing it, and then I just kind of stopped doing it. And now I just simply, if any the videos like this, it's just stuff that I want to do that I think is like fun and exciting and different. And it may not always be different, but it's just what I want to do. And that's what you should do with your channel if that's what you decide.
That's really what it is. I don't remember if it was you or somebody else, but they said that they just wanted to capture like the journey for themselves. They just kind of wanted to like, it might be Bobby Walker actually. But he said he just wanted to basically make videos so he could look back. He knew that in like 10 years, he could look back and be like, oh man, remember that one? Like you said, that was one clips. Like, remember that one time? Oh dude, I couldn't believe it. Like I got like that, pressure washer off Craigslist. I was so geeked. And now like I wouldn't touch that thing. And it was just to kind of catalog it almost. And then all of a sudden it just turned into a thing,
Yeah, that is very true. Like if I was to go back and look at myself from like the first days where I started uploading till now, it's totally different, So it's kind of capturing a part of your life, which is cool. I don't know if how long do you think you could do Nation for? Like, do you think that's like infinite?
Dude, I don't know, man. I like at a certain point I was like, dude, I can't miss one. I can't I've not missed. I've had secret cruises that my wife took me on that I found out about. So I had to record Nation to have it recorded so that I could go on there and be like, oh, look at this, and then have it, There's been a lot of times where it was like, I've actually had it before where I forgot that I was going to be gone because we do some traveling, you know, but I forgot that I had to go to a show, or I think it was the last time I went to New York. I was leaving on like a Wednesday and literally woke up and I was like, oh crap. So I like quick recorded it like an hour before I left for the airport, you know? So I don't know that I could do it forever, but if it helps people, I mean, truly that's kind of what it is.
You know, that story doesn't surprise me because the first flight I've ever missed in my life was with this guy. This guy. We were leaving Atlanta from the huge convention, and what was our flights? We were at like 8 a.m. I messed up on the time of mine for like 15 minutes, but we got there to the airport 30 minutes before our boarding, and then you got in the totally wrong line of the not even the right airline, waited in that line.
Yep.
And it was like nothing to you. It was just like another day of Juicy's life.
Because, you know, at like certain points, a lot of like stupid things that happen, you just got to be like, what am I going to do? I'm going to be more worried about it. That was a little bit, the train ride to the airport took longer than I thought it was going to take, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what took a long time. And we walked around the streets of Atlanta like at
That's right.
6 a.m. not knowing where we were. Yeah, I was stressed.
Then John Lee, the smart old guy that we just didn't realize was the smart old guy, he's like, you guys are taking the train? We're like, yeah. He's like, I'm Ubering. Like,
yeah.
He was like leaving 3 hours before. We're like, we got to.
Oh, he left at the same time, but he got there, got on his flight, was fine.
Yeah.
So,
do you remember the guy on the train too? That like, if you've ever not been on a train in Atlanta in the butt crack of the morning, there's some weird people. That guy was talking about Obama's sperm or something. And remember, he's like impregnated. Remember that guy was just yelling all over the place?
I do not remember that. Is that
you don't remember that guy?
No.
It was like the whole trip? Or was that maybe when I was getting to, maybe that wasn't in the morning. Maybe that was when I got to the airport.
I would remember that. I just feel like
that's
something that I'd really remember.
The entire ride, the guy's yelling in my ear.
I got a question for you here. Hold on.
Yeah.
Just because I want to make sure we get this answered. Kenneth Turner, should you get a DBA starting now or get a LLC or both? What do you think, man?
A DBA has absolutely zero to do with business. All that means is that you're doing business as, meaning if you get a check that instead of saying Kenneth Turner, it says like Turner Window Cleaning, you can't cash a check or deposit a check under Turner Window Cleaning if your name is Kenneth Turner. You have to get a DBA in order to them to say, okay, Kenneth Turner is doing business as Turner Window Cleaning. Now, an LLC is a protection. So that is a limited liability corporation, basically. It just separates you. So now all of a sudden you are the owner or chief principal officer of your company. And now it creates a little bit of a liability protection. So yeah, LLC all the way.
Yeah, nice.
And if you're filing too, go one step further and go into an S corp as file as an S corp under an LLC. So you're an LLC but filing as an S corp, and if you're making any kind of money, it really does help.
Yeah, definitely. Amos Fragoso, what would be a good setup for the water-fed pole to wash solar panels? Really, solar panels, you don't need you do not need 000 pure water at all. You could just use RO water. And really that question all depends on where you live. If you live in an area with soft water or hard water, if you live in an area with a bunch of soft water, low TDS, low mineral levels, then you could just use a DI tank and water fed pole and have it set up for under 1,000 and make a lot of money solar panel cleaning. If you're in an area with hard water, you're looking more at like the 2,000 range, like get started out with an RODI system. So solar panel can be very profitable. I see a lot more people talking about it as they go up and more and more and more. So, but it's probably one of the easiest things to clean. And really the only things to really watch out for is just if you see a crack or anything like that, you don't want to clean them, but really easy money, probably easier than window cleaning or gutter cleaning, in my opinion.
No one looks through a solar panel. So if there's a little bit of spots that you can barely see, they're not going to notice that. Yeah. And there's no frames that you have to get in the corners of. You just clean the things. It's quick.
If you add, I've seen people add where they put the bird netting, like not like just like a fabric, but pretty good stability to it all the way around it. I've seen that a lot in California. California solar panel cleaning is just huge, it seems like. Yeah. And they'll do all that mitigating for birds or reinstall it after 1 year. And yeah.
Did you see the guy who posted in Pro who said he's trying to bid, or he said, what would your price be on 900,000 solar panels?
I did see that. And you got a good answer, right?
I don't know. I'm always like the technical, like, okay, like you sound so good, but let's break it down. You need like 10 guys on 10 systems with 10 poles, and you're going to take 18 weeks to do it. Does that sound like something you're going to do?
Scott Cleans It. He's a YouTube channel. I want to say that's still his YouTube channel name. And he had a really good video. And when he was new in the business, it was really cool with his YouTube channel because he would put up, like, he was learning every day and some not great things were happening. And he took on a solar farm. And he took on a solar farm, I think, thinking that he was going to be able to hook up a pure water system out in the solar out there. And then it didn't happen. And he had to just totally think outside the box. And I think he got it done. But that's the one thing about when everyone asks me about solar farms. First question: do they have a water hookup? Do they have a water hookup? Probably not.
Yeah, it's not at every water thing. You still have to fill up a tank.
Yeah, exactly. So like, those are jobs. Once we bidded on some that were on top of a mall one time, and never got them. But I mean, you would have to have quite a rig to really be able to clean like solar farms and do it well. A friend of mine, Chris, out in Napa, I think he's done some, but he rigged up a whole entire like 100-gallon tank in his van, and that's how you have to do it. And then go fill up, go back, clean some more, and I think it would be taxing, but I think it would be really good money too. It's easy money.
I know guys that run CDL trucks with like, 2, 3, 5,000 gallons of water in the back and all big totes, and then they have hydro stations on the back that just pump it out of that and that just clean.
That's probably something that not a lot of people know about is hydro stations.
Yeah,
that's probably like I would never know about that if I didn't become a rep. Like if you ever got like just bored one day, search the hydro stations from IPC that are on our website, because they're just. I mean, how many freaking poles could you operate from their biggest one? But you need a fire hydrant to run like their biggest one. Yeah,
basically. So their triple would be 8 guys, maybe? No, 4, 8, something crazy. Yeah, actually, they're an IPC 2X electric hydro cart can run 4 guys on it, and that's just a hydro cart.
Right.
It's nuts. But again, you got to remember you're feeding the beast.
Yeah. How much GPM will a hydro station go from Austin? Gosh, dude, if you're operating 4 poles, I mean, I would think you're almost at what, close to 3 to 4 gallons per minute.
I want to say that you would do 4 gallons a minute out of the triple, so you can run 8 poles.
I don't know where that's needed. I've never seen that happen.
It's a capability type thing, but 8 gallons a minute, you have to understand that even if you're on a tap, a normal spigot's 4 gallons. So you need a buffer of 4 gallons. Like every minute you're running 8 gallons. That means you're sucking up 4 gallons out of your tanks every minute. So there's just so much logistics. It's people like to throw around a lot of the sexy. I used to do that on like $1 million. I've done the $1 million show a couple times where it's like, okay, you want to make $1 million? Cool, but let's break it down. Like you could see what it looks like. Like break it down. How much do you make a day? How much do you make an hour? Like you're going to take 2 weeks off a year. How many people can work in 5 days? And you look and all of a sudden it's like, okay, you need like to make $1 million in window cleaning. You need like 8 techs, 1 office person. You need 4 trucks running at full capacity. Like, running all those numbers, you can see what it looks like. It's just when people are like, I want to make $1 million. Yeah, me and my helper. It's like, you can't. It's
right. I see you have a question from Brenton.
Yeah, Brent Ness said, I'm struggling with my window cleaning business. I keep leaving lines from the top of my squeegee on every job, so each job takes me forever. Any tips?
So you're probably running into rainbow streaks is what I call them. And rainbow streaks happen usually due to that the clip or whatever's holding your rubber into the end of the channel is not right in there. So I love Ettore brass clips. That's my favorite thing to use because I find that any other channel out there just has some sort of weird clip system that can make something like that happen. So Squeegee. So this rubber, if you have like your whole channel and this is up like this is wrong, that can leave a streak. That can leave a rainbow streak. That simplest little thing there can leave a streak.
Do you know how many?
That's why I use 2 clips. That's why I don't do the 1 clip thing like you do, is I like them both to be even. So like that's pretty even right there. But if on the other side, if you're up and it's the most minor up.
Did you say you only use one clip or two clips?
Two.
I was just gonna say that. Like, I can't believe people still use two clips. You're a two clip guy.
Yeah. So every time, so when I ever talk to people, they say, "Hey, Jersey says you use one clip. Why should I use two?" And I'm always like, "No, you got to use two. You got to have a sharp blade. You got to do it." And here's the reason why. I'm gonna explain it real quick. Okay, so if you're looking around,
I'm looking. I gotta find one though.
Okay, so we'll have a great debate here real quickly. So this has one clip in it, right? It's got a clip over here. On this side, there's movement.
Yeah.
Of the rubber, right? So you got to think on a window. If you enter in on your right, if you enter in on your left, you have the clip here. This is going to be fine until you make the motion and you start coming back. And as you come back, any motion that this squeegee starts moving or goes over dry glass and it has the unevenness of having the clip on this side and no clip on this side, you can make a rainbow streak almost every single time.
What? I
tested it 2 years straight. 2 years straight.
As soon as we get
2014.
As soon as we get channels, we pull the one out. We always only have one because the rubber sits, it floats in there, so the rubber cannot be stretched. It can't be too tight. It can't be too other. And I see that your rubber, you don't trim the edges either, so you run full sides.
This is something you said last week, and I got caught off guard, and I was like, "What the frick are you talking about?"
Yeah, this is crazy.
So this is great. To me, this is great. So you would have it be.
Well, maybe you need to get back to the gym so you can have only one clip there.
Yeah, I know, right? So would you do this, like this much rubber?
I brought all my stuff to the office, so I literally don't have anything here. But what I do is
flush.
I have no, not flush. So I have it just a hair past the brass clip on the one side, and the other side, yep, just like that on the side with no clip. And it's just enough so that when I turn, it doesn't scratch the thing. It's just enough buffer, but yet it doesn't fold under. So it gives you less like to detail around the edges because the rubber doesn't fold.
Okay. I feel you. There. Good points.
I hate that you're agreeing.
I thought when you said that you were doing this. And I was like, no, because I've seen you
scratch everything.
Yeah. And I knew you wouldn't do that. So I knew you would probably, So
I just do it just enough so that there's like a buffer, but then there's no fold over.
Yeah. I don't know though. My thing has always been that when I started using Ettore brass, I hated putting the second clip in because most people, when they put that second clip in is when they really mess up the arc of the rubber. So man, I 2 years straight, I tested this every single place possible in the winter, in the spring, in the fall, in the summer. And I swear to you,
I have to tell you this. By the way, put this in the comments right now if you're a 2-clip person or a 1-clip, because now I'm really interested. I thought this was like if you're a pro, you knew it was 1 clip. I didn't know. Nope. But I've never had a rainbow streak ever in my life.
You have. You just haven't seen it. Guaranteed.
That could maybe
be fine because no customers ever see them. That's what I always tell everybody. You'll never get it.
Is it drying though?
A rainbow streak is the oddest thing because it doesn't always happen, but can happen. And basically what it is that when you're going over dry glass and like closing out and you just put like a little bit more pressure or like, you're closing in just like, God, this has gotten really, really dramatic here. But as like you're closing out like on a frame and you really have to put like some force in, guaranteed if you looked right into like the sun was shining right through, you would see it.
I don't know.
And the reason why I say this is because every veteran window cleaner I've ever worked with, I've always said, have you ever left a rainbow streak? And they say no. And in 2 days, I've always found a rainbow streak from them. And I said, check it out. It's a rainbow streak because I leave them.
Yeah.
I know that I leave them at some places every once in a while. And it's part of window cleaning.
Hey, Noah's dad said 2 clips forever. You're wrong. I'm sorry.
I see a lot of 2 clips here.
Look at all these people. 2 clips. Lux, you're a 2-clipper? I liked you so much, Lux. Pete Cruz too. I think I'm losing this one. 1 clip. There. Damien is good on the 1 clip. 2 clips?
Yeah,
this is so sad.
Now 6 and 8, 1 clip. It's pointless with those to have 2 clips, but I will do it because I just like it. name brand is Clipless, so that's pretty good. Now, if you
wait, time out. I got something to say then. So if you think that a clip, having one clip out means the rubber moves, if clipless is right in the center, then that means both sides move. Why don't you get the same marks on that?
Yeah, so I do not like clipless. I do not like it.
That didn't answer my
Yeah. So yeah, I could do a whole video. Like, there's so much that I think about with just this part of a squeegee channel. There's so much about this little edge right here that is so different from every squeegee channel has a very different edge. Yeah. This is my favorite edge. Someone else's favorite edge is an Unger S plus. Someone else is an Unger S. Yeah. And that's the thing. And that's the reason why I think it's always so cool is like you, for your business, always worked one clip and got awesome results and had made tons of money. And that's the greatest thing about it is that you don't have to clean a single way, or you don't have to make your tools a single way. Yeah. Your hand doesn't need to be here or here to make a bunch of money. That's the thing about it. And that's what I've always said is like, when you train people, like you're going to have things that you say and do and want them to do. But once they can actually figure out like what works for them and you like their product, that's all that matters. Alfredo was a straight puller sorbo guy. Man, like there was a couple times where I'd have to like say like, hey, that doesn't look too good or that doesn't look too good. But most of the time, man, that guy knew exactly what he was doing.
Man, Lux is going trying one clip.
Don't do it, man.
I'm turning him.
You're going to throw it. I'm telling you, man.
What I used to do is it was called the Superman cut or something. And what it was the rubber that stuck over, this is my phone because I don't have a thing, but the rubber that stuck over like the channel, pretend this is where the channel and this is the rubber, you would make a square notch out of the top of the rubber.
You're this guy.
I tried that. I ran that for probably a year and I was like, this is so annoying cutting this little notch out of there. Okay. But it's really good. It really gets in there. There's like zero detailing by doing that.
So your notch you're talking about was cutting a square right here.
Yes.
So putting that corner off here.
Exactly.
And then that ride,
two corners almost.
Right.
Yeah.
So I tried that for a day because I remember someone talking about it way back in the day and I hated it.
Just Jacob's gonna try it. That's awesome. I want to know.
Yeah. Here, I'll answer a question here real quick from Eddie. It's different, not about clips. Not a troll question. Have you ever been residentially, I'm going to say resi shunned because of all your tats? Yes. Yep. I've been accused of stealing 3 times and they've all mentioned my tattoos when they called me and told me that I was told that my last one was a diamond ring. And what happened is the lady, she called me frantically and said that I stole it and that I had never been in her house before, even though I had been in her house 3 separate times before. And I get a little bit defensive when someone says that because to me, that is the furthest thing from my mind ever. I have never in my own life ever thought about stealing unless I was like a kid, just like stupidly stealing some bubble gum or something like that. But turns out she called the cops. Cops came over, everything. The cop takes her ring box. She opened it the wrong side up. So all she had to do is do that. If the ring fell on the right side, she opened up and boom, her ring was there.
Wow.
Yep. I was accused of stealing fly fishing gear from a really, really nice house. And once again, it was the guy with the tats. That was the first time he's in our house and stuff is gone. So that guy stole it. Never went back to that. And then the last one was me and Alfredo, probably back in like 2014. He was accused of stealing a diamond ring, and I was accused of stealing a Santa Christmas, one of those plastic things, like the big plastic light-up things from like the 50s. That's what I was accused of. Unfortunately, that lady was very old, and she like died 2 months later. But she was like senile and just But yeah, man, like it doesn't happen often anymore. But I just notice it from like I would just say it like the old rich folks. That's been my situations where I've ever come across that.
You hoodlum. See, that's why I have piercings. You can't see them, you know. I kid.
Let's not go into that.
We actually, this sounds so much worse, but I have a guy. His name was Jacob, and he was, he was Mexican, but not like, he was enough that made some people not They followed him. So we called this one lady. We always said it was the plague because every time he'd go to her house, he was the nicest dude ever. Like, he worked with us for years, and every time he'd go there, the little old lady who couldn't walk would get up and follow him around to every room right next to him. And we'd call it the plague because she'd follow him around no matter what he did. It was awful. So no tats there, but if you're in someone's domain, they will always find some kind of reason. That's why I'm overly animated and like, I'm not fake. If you met me, this is really how I am, but I'm always like, I always am on the up and up and like always super chipper because they just kind of put people at ease and they don't even have that chance to kind of, be negative on that side. So
yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's I've thought about making a video on it, but I never did. I actually had a time, I'll tell you this story, but I totally forgot it. I almost got a window cleaning tattoo about 2 years ago. And I had this like great idea of having the intro of my video being like the tattoo being made like a time lapse.
Yeah.
And I went to my tattoo artist and I was like, yeah, man, this is what I want to do. And he's like, no. It's like, I won't do it. I was like, what? I was like, why won't you do it? He's like, no, man. He's like, you're gonna hate it. Like in a couple of years, you're just not gonna like it. And I think he was right. And then I thought about it. And I was like, you're right. Like that's a dumb idea. I've gotten some dumb tattoos that I wish I haven't gotten, and I'm not going to do that. So I got something different. But yeah, that I was going to have that and like have it as like an intro to the video. I was like, I think that's just like a little too much commitment. Like really, like. But now I have so many tattoos, I forget about them. And I think the ones that actually freak out the customers the most are the ones on my legs. Yeah, so I think that's kind of uncommon. Like because I always, if I can wear shorts, I wear shorts. Yeah. And I think because I have like a gorilla, it's like shouting and it looks like throw up is coming out of his mouth. So it's like, I think that's a little intense for some people.
Sometimes, but really it just is, it's like the spirituality of you should make up like super like soft meetings for all your tattoos.
What we got to do is we got to have Austin on here, and he's got to, because he's just talking about this, you got to tell the story about the tattoo he almost got.
Yeah.
Remember? Do you remember the story?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
We gotta save it for him though. He's
yeah. I'm not gonna say anything. Yeah.
So instead of getting a tattoo, you just got a giant billboard in the back of your office now.
Yes, I think that's better because it's not permanent. It's just,
I was gonna say, it's close to permanent, but not quite as permanent. Yeah,
it's not bad. But I've gotten some tattoos that like I've wanted to cover up, and I've like this is a whole cover up of something, and I'm done though. I'm pretty much done. I don't really think about them anymore, and it was fun. It was fun.
If anybody knows me, I have ADD, and the thing with ADD is hyper focus. So I get really focused in things and think that that's all I love, and then I totally just never do it again. So like I just can't think of having a tattoo because I would get something that I'd be like, this is so awesome, and then one day I'd be like, this is dumb. I don't know why I did that. Yeah, I almost got my old company, which would still been kind of cool because it's like, especially when you start a business, like you start something for nothing, even though somebody else owns it now. It's like would have been kind of cool, but
Frank Rave has that on his hand.
Yeah. Frank Rave's on another level. Frank Rave is on like another level.
I said it once though, Jers. What you need to do is you need to get like a squeegee right here.
Instead of a teardrop, I just get a squeegee right there.
Just get a squeegee right there. Then everyone will be like, you don't mess with Jersey. Yeah.
I did some hard time on the high-rise scene.
Yes. Okay. Let's answer one more question, and then we'll be off for tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's think. You choose one, man. You see one?
How about JG said, we haven't asked one from him yet. What's up, by the way? He said, I've been starting with storefront cleaning, but everywhere I go, they say that they don't need a window cleaner because they got a guy who does it for $10. Any tips?
Gosh, man, it's usually about that the guy that charges the least amount is usually infrequent, doesn't show up all the time, not reliable. And that's mainly what you have to sell is reliability, insurance, and just being a good all-around company. I think that's the biggest things to sell. I think it's hard sometimes because some people are just like, hey, he's doing a better job than I can do for $10. Why wouldn't I hire him? And that's a lot of like, what I always found was like the main streets in a town where someone could just say, I'll do this for $5, that for 10, this for 2. Like if it's one window, I'll do it for 2. So that I do see a lot more in like in my area, if anyone knows it, like Fort Collins, Old Town, those kind of areas just littered with bucket bobs. Yeah. There's one bucket bob. Huh?
Beer money guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So that's it. If you can just sell them on the quality and always being there and reliability, that's the huge thing.
I want to say one thing. If you're a route person, guy, gal, whatever, one thing that you would ever remember in your head is that every store has a guy. They just do, because even if they do it themselves, they're their guys. Nobody's not doing it if they got a business, right? So everybody has a guy. So when you go into it, you always automatically have to just assume they have a guy. Now tell them why you're better, right? We all know that we're the best window cleaning person in our area. Nobody is arguing that fact because they shouldn't be in business if they don't believe themselves. But now you need to convey them or convince them why you're the best. Sell on value.
Yeah. Now, how would you convince them? Because I know it's a hard question, but I'm always one. I'm never a script person. I go in and go off the field of it, but I know what my general goal is and I know what I want to get them for sure.
Yeah.
Like I have goals of what I want to do. But were you more of a script person, or would you? I think we went over this once, but what would you?
Yeah, I'm not. I don't like the sound of. I don't want to ever sound like I'm scripted, but there's a lot of stuff that I say so many times that because it makes sense. I'm a big analogy person. But when I would go in there, I always listen, because the biggest thing is no matter what somebody says to you, they're going to tell you what you need to hear, even if they're not saying anything. You walk into a place and they're like, oh, hey, Steve, like, yeah, man, hey, we got a guy, he actually, he's a good dude. He does it, $10. He's got a wife and kids, but he doesn't come in all the time, but that's fine with us. We don't really care, but, I don't know that he's been here for a while. I think he's off or on vacation or something, but I don't even know what he charges. That whole conversation, you just heard everything you needed to hear. You heard they don't care about the price. That wasn't the main focus, but they cared because the guy doesn't show up. He's a family man. That's what they heard, and that's what they remembered, and that's why they gave him a bunch of kind of stuff. That's what you would focus on. And people, when somebody says, hey, this other guy just never shows up, I don't know what the heck he's doing, whatever, and you come in and go, well, I'm way cheaper than him. You're selling them on something they didn't even ask for, even if it's subliminal. So listen to what they say and respond to what they say by what they actually mean and what they say.
And I would add in something that people are saying here in the comments too, is like, you definitely want to look good. You want to look like a presentable business. Even if you don't have the greatest car, keeping your car clean. Some of those type of things are huge things, because even if you talk to them that one time, they still may see you around later and they still want to say, okay, like, all right, that would be a good person for cleaning the windows at my business because of XYZ reasons. But that's another big thing, is appearance. Yeah,
we would be in there. Like when you said they'll see you around, I'm there every month. If I'm in an area, I will be there every month. But hey, just wanted to say what's up. It's Jersey was in here last month. I just want to see if anything changed. Like, nope, we still got a guy. I'm like, cool, definitely. We love loyalty. Here's my card as always. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't say hey. And then I leave. And it's just that repetition of people seeing you, and always assume that you're going against the bucket Bob. If you're the guy who has a really nice proposal or a really nice form or really nice business cards, you look nice, your trucks are nice, your guys are presentable, always assume the other guy's writing his bid on a napkin. Always assume the other guy's got, a grocery bag full of towels. Always assume that you're on another caliber, and people will see that. That's value without even selling on value.
Yeah. Well said.
Yeah.
Good job. Good place to end.
There you go.
Yeah. So, anyways, 2 clips for life. All right.
I guess your next tattoo is just going to say 2 clips.
2 clips.
Like calligraphy right here.
Yep.
Well, if you guys haven't yet, please do thumbs up on the video. That always helps SteveO's channel. And subscribe. You know how many of you are here that didn't subscribe to SteveO's channel? Just not
one thing it's a crazy stat, and it's actually through a lot of YouTube channels, even big YouTube channels, is 70% of usually the people that watch your videos are not subscribed to your channel. Now that could be due to that you just don't have a Gmail account or like whatever. So that's
you're not logged in or something.
But yeah, if you watch and find helpful tips from my channel, like, subscribe. It always helps run a lot.
You're so close to 20,000. The people watching this know that you're like 180 away from 20,000 subscribers.
Yeah, 180 away. Maybe we'll do a cool giveaway. I don't know. Something like that.
A signed poster from SteveO.
You got so excited.
20,000th one. There you go.
Hey, Jeremy Pummel. Jers, run the cart.
Oh.
I love Jeremy. Jeremy's so great.
He's so great.
I'll just run that now. I got it. No problem. Alrighty, guys. Well, guys and gals, we will see you real quickly. Do you want to just push?
No, I was pointing this to somebody who was asking.
Yes, and in the description there will always be a link to American Window Cleaner magazine too, so you can check that out. Awesome stickers, awesome magazine. I have a little excerpt in there every month where I talk about something cool about window cleaning, and there's a bunch of other really good writers. Cool
by association. See how that goes? Is that people go, oh, you got that magazine that SteveO writes in, and I'm like, yeah.
No. Hey, you're wanting some new writers, eh?
Yeah. We're always looking for people, especially in like niches too, like high rise. I got nobody in high rise right now. People who are in different areas. It's always nice. Yeah. Yep. Cool. Awesome. All right. Well, we may be here next week. If not, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Awesome. See you guys. All right. Peace.